Hello everybody, it's Big Al with some more content for Lord of the Rings Rise to War. Today I'm going to talk about Sauron, and I hope even the good side players watch this one as well, because Sauron is definitely meta. He is going to be in 90% of evil formations. He is probably he's probably the most dangerous evil side commander. So let me hop in and we'll take a look at him. Obviously, mine's only respect 1, so I can't really show the skills, but I can show the skills, I just can't put the points into them. So here we are. His first skill for his top R0 is the Deceiver. And it's damage received by 3 enemy formations. It's up to 10%, but it modifies by focus. So that's a huge one in itself. But then you go to level 5, and it's a 35% chance to inflict madness on the target. Okay, so there's 3 enemy formations. That's the commander and the unit. So you're looking at 6 total targets. And he has a 35% chance to inflict madness on the target. So that's 1/3. So pretty much you're looking at getting at least 2 madness effects on people. Then at level 10 is damage received by the targets affected by madness. So there's his first debuff skill. Now I'm going to jump to his R4, which is the enemy. And this is going to be a very huge skill. It's attack, defense, and focus of 3 enemy commanders minus up to 15%, and the effect is modified by focus. Okay, so what that means is the magic number for commander attack is about 200 if you don't take into account Sauron. Okay, but generally you want 200 commander attack on your damage dealers. So minus 15%, it modifies by focus. Okay, let's just say it modifies at 20%. So at 200 minus 20%, that's going down to 160 commander attack. That's going to do a lot less damage to you. But it's not only attack, it's defense and focus as well. So, again, let's go to Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Gray. Their White Council skills. Same thing. Say he has 150 focus. Well, if you're dropping 20%, that's going to be, his focus is going to go down to 120. So that means White Council is going to mitigate damage a lot less. Then at level 5, immune to stun, which can be big depending on the enemy that you're facing if you have Sauron. But on level 10, the stat reduction affects all 4 of the enemy commanders. So, out of his 2 debuff skills, we're talking about doing not damage, but major debuffing to damage dealers, your supports. You go to the Deceiver, they're getting an extra 10 plus the modification. Damage received, they're getting 2, if you go by the percentages, they're getting at least 2 madness on the enemy, okay, plus the extra damage to enemy. So right there alone is pretty big. And if you notice, both are modified by focus. So obviously we want focus. Well, he's also a focused damage dealer. So I'm going to go to his R2 skill. And maxed out is deals up to 390% focus damage to 1 enemy formation. And so that's the commander and the unit. And it has a 50% chance to inflict stun for 2 rounds. So, whoever he hits, either the commander or the unit, one of them is going to be stunned for 2 rounds. Then this skill gains keen eye. Well, we haven't talked about keen eye that much, but what keen eye does is it ignores the target's evasion. So that's going to be big when it comes to like Gil, when he's making his elves evade for however many rounds it is. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3, to be honest with you. So that's pretty big. At level 10, focus damage received by the target plus 15% for 2 rounds. Honestly, when you're building him, for us free-to-play players, low spenders, you're not going to have a Sauron that's, R14 or above, Zenith levels, anything like that. So, you're not really going to be maxing this skill out. Lord of Gifts deals up to 260% focus damage to 2 formations and has a 30% chance to inflict madness on the target for 1 round. So, there's 4 targets and it's a 30%. So, he's going to get 1, possibly 2 every fight. Okay? And that's madness for 1 round. And that's round, it has the 2 round cooldown, so it's round 3, 6, and 9 that fires off. Level 5 plus a little focus. Level 10, healing effects received by the target minus 50%. Okay, so his 2 biggest skills that everyone's going to use are the enemy and the deceiver. Now, the thing is, you want to put 1 point in each of these skills. Lord of Gifts, because you want that madness chance. You're going to put 1 point into his R2 because you want that stun chance. Okay? But then you're going to fill up the enemy and the deceiver before everything else. Okay? You just want those 1 point in each of those, and then you fill up the enemy and the deceiver. So it's major debuffs, a lot of madness, a lot of stun. That's why he is a very important commander for the evil side. So now there's many ways to build him with his gear. A lot of people will use him as a tank because his starting command is 180, and that's a lot of command. So if you're doing something like that, there's ways to go about it. You could do it where you only focus on command and unit defense to make him a tank. So you're going to want, stuff like what Frodo has. Okay, you're going to do a cutlass. You're going to do the horseman's helm. Again, this is purple gear. You're going to do the hawk. And you're going to do the drums. Okay, and that's the most... Hold on. And that is the most command you're going to get just from purple gear. Look at that, 450 command. So also by doing that, he's getting minus 31% damage received. Just think about that. He's a tank. Purple gear, he gets all the way up to 450 command. Minus 31%. That's pretty good use for a tank because he's doing all that debuffing, and that's the most important thing. His damage skills are not there to cause damage. They are there for the stun and the madness chances. Other things you could do while still making him a tank is, put the Nordor sword on him. Let's see what else. Put a call on him. And then here, I would probably put this one for the gold. And then same thing here. Now this is where it gets tricky. Depending if you have more respect for him, the higher respect, R10, R14, Zenith levels, you're going to want something that gives damage as well because you're going to have quite a few points into those damage skills. So then you'd be thinking about something like the fine smoking pipe because it gives you a lot of commander focus and commander damage. Another way to go about it is the fiddle. Okay, it gives you command, it gives you unit defense, it gives you commander focus. Same thing if you had the gold fiddle. Even something like this, the drums, it gives you commander damage, it gives you commander focus. Now, if you want to build him for attack, you go something like the Blazing Tongue or a Carver for purple, okay? And then here you'd probably still use the Call because I really like the Call of the Forest. It gives command, it gives focus, it gives initiative, it gives unit defense. Initiative is something you are going to worry about when you get higher up in respect and you're fighting a lot of whales. Then sometimes you need to be faster than others. But again, this is more for free to play and low spenders and newcomers. You're not going to be worried about initiative because it's hard to build for initiative. And the initiative isn't as important anymore. Another thing you could do is something like the Golden Skin, where it's giving focus, it's getting unit defense. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can build them. My personal opinion is building him for the tank is the way to go. And I'll leave it like that. Okay. See, the thing with the Nordor sword is you get a lot of command, you get focus, and you get unit defense. So you don't get as much unit defense or as much command as if, say, I had the Cutlass, but I'm getting that commander focus. So that's going to modify his debuff skills. So Sauron is a very dangerous commander, probably, in my opinion, the best evil side commander there is. He's very flexible, whether you want to use him for a tank. If you have high zenith levels, you're going to build him probably for damage because his damage skills are pretty good. But I want to do the skills one more time. So you would put 1 point in each of these, and then the deceiver and the enemy you would max out. Okay? And then when it comes down to time and you have the extra points, my opinion is you put 5 in Kenai, in his R2, so you get that Kenai, and then you put 5 in here. The extra 5 focus isn't that big of a deal, but the extra little damage, so it would be half of that, so it would be about 130 damage there. This one would be at like what, 195, because again, you might as well get a little bit of both. So that's my video on Sauron. I hope that clears up how he's used, what are the benefits of using him, and also what you're looking for when you're fighting against him, what to expect. So, as always, make the most out of what you got.